So nice to feel your stillness, to be in this silence this morning. If I'm not mistaken, last time I was here, I was talking about what I could call the 4 S's. What I find when I practice, when I sit very still and I relax into the stillness, not with attention or force, the stillness, I take the stillness itself as my object of awareness. Now this is interesting. It's not the feeling of the body, it's not the sensations of the body, it's the sense of stillness, the essence, if you like, of stillness itself. So it's more like the mind is experiencing stillness. And then, when I check my mind, I can clear the screen of my mind. No mental images, no pictures. So the screen is clear. And then there's a silence in the mind. In the absence of thought, there's a silence. And it is as if we drop into space. A perfect, beautiful, unlimited space that is always available. Stillness, the screen, silence, and space. And I can also add simplicity. I hope you could feel it right now, just as I was sharing. Especially the simplicity. Sitting here today, by the way, as I said, relax, sit comfortably, open your eyes, be alert, otherwise you might fall asleep. I'm watching you. So, the simplicity of just sitting here right now. You've got no work to do. You don't have to do anything right now. Only just pay attention. That's all. Life doesn't get much more simple than this. So enjoy it. You don't have to work hard. You don't have to look after anybody. You don't have to prove yourself to anybody. Nobody's judging you. Nobody's evaluating you. Maybe you're judging and evaluating yourself. But when you really relax, that all falls away. You can just be 100% yourself here and now. And just listen. Just open your mind and listen. The body is present, the mind is present, just paying attention, mindfulness. So simple. Your body's doing everything it needs to do. And if you're just paying attention, your mind is doing exactly what it needs to do. Do you like the topic today?
Interesting.
Interesting, isn't it? But this is the world we live in, isn't it? I've just come back from Dubai. I spent 3 weeks in Dubai. I have some very dear friends there. It's not a Buddhist place. In fact, I hardly meet any Buddhist people there, like real Buddhist people. Like I'm sitting with a room full of Buddhist people now. Some people think, oh yes, I like Buddhism, or oh, I meditated once, or I went to a temple once. But these people are interested in meditation. They're interested to develop their mind. But they live in this world. Dubai is all about money. It's all about business. And of course, coming with money comes time. You've heard the expression, time is money, isn't it? That's what they say. Time is money. Is time money? It's actually not really money, but that's what it becomes equal. Time and money became the same thing. And then money is time. And then, if you're only focusing on time and money, what's going to be the next thing that arises? It's going to be stress. Has to be stress because you don't have enough time. Very interesting. You may have heard of Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is, some say he's the best life coach, business coach, wealth coach in the world. Maybe he said that, I'm not sure. But I believe he's very good. I listened to him. Something very interesting, he started to become spiritual. This also I'm noticing with a few other high-level, very famous teachers like Joe Dispenza. I think I also mentioned him last time I was here. He comes from, I think he was a chiropractor, he comes from science background, he's then into quantum, but now he's understanding you can't have science without consciousness. And so now he is starting to marry spirituality. Of course, they're not Buddhists, they're not teaching Buddhism, but they're using the word consciousness, which is the Buddha's term for mind, not spirit. Consciousness must be present in any quantum equation. Very interesting. And he's saying you can heal your body. Everything can be healed when everything is in alignment. And people have been saying this for thousands of years. So, and one thing I also noticed interesting about the Buddha's teaching, he is not teaching wellness, he's not teaching directly healing, he doesn't teach the chakras or energy systems of the body, he didn't teach any Qigong, Tai Chi or movement, he didn't teach yoga. Yoga was available at the time of the Buddha. Check me if I'm wrong or I'm not sure. Did any of you find any form of wellness training in the suttas? He didn't teach yoga. It's interesting. Why didn't the Buddha teach wellness? He didn't even give a diet as far as I know. He gave times to eat, but only for monks and nuns. To eat only in the morning period, and then from lunchtime until dawn the next day, you don't eat. You know what that's called now? Intermittent fasting. Wow, we discovered this new thing called intermittent fasting. It's very good for your health. Thank you. Buddha taught us this 2,500 years ago. Very interesting. But only that. The Buddha didn't say, eat your vegetables, eat the greens, eat this first, eat that second, drink this, don't drink that, etc. He did say things like don't eat monkey, don't eat tiger, don't eat human meat. But even many of these peoples, especially those in like in Dubai, when I say Buddha was not vegetarian, they're like, oh, what? Like they're so shocked. They never heard this before. Because mostly they hear the Chinese version of Buddhism or something like that, and they just immediately think all Buddhists are vegetarians. And I say, nope. If you go to Thailand, Myanmar, especially, these are where I was practicing and I have the most experience. Almost nobody is vegetarian. Everybody's enjoying all the meats and such. So, and then when I say Buddhists are not necessarily vegetarian, and even the Buddha himself was not vegetarian, they're very shocked. So, Buddha didn't teach yoga, he didn't teach chakras, he didn't teach energy systems, he didn't teach healing. Why? Because if you practice meditation, you don't need it. This is my new revelation. And it came to me yesterday. Okay, it only took me 30 years to find this out. But this is what we're doing along our path in life. We're putting pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together. So I've been putting my puzzle together for 30 years. I'm not sure how far I've got to go in my jigsaw puzzle. My jigsaw puzzle didn't come with a box, so I don't know what it's supposed to look like, which is the mystery of our life. But again, the Buddha is showing that if you follow the path, you take these steps, you do the practices, then everything will come to you naturally, in your own time, according to your parami, according to your karma. So in this way we have faith, we trust that if I do the practices given to us by a fully enlightened Buddha and our reliable Sangha that have lasted until this day, then we can follow this noble eightfold path, this middle way, and I believe that we can achieve enlightenment. And of course, achieving enlightenment is becoming free from all forms of suffering. So maybe this also is why the Buddha was not teaching specifically, do yoga, eat these foods, don't do this, don't do that, because he was teaching to be free from suffering. So if you're free from suffering, then what else do you need to be free from? If you're free from suffering, you don't need to be free from time or money or stress. Oh, I mentioned Tony Robbins. We'll just rewind back to Tony Robbins. He interviewed 50 of the most influential and richest people in the world. 50 of the richest people in the world. They have everything they need. Can you imagine? If you have all the money you've got, then you can buy everything you need. What did they want? I'm waiting for it. What did they want more of? Time. They didn't have enough time. They've got... I think your answers were quite correct. They probably wanted happiness and peace, but actually what they wanted more of, so still being greedy, time. They don't have enough time. They don't have enough time to make more money. Yeah, you would think if you were already a billionaire or multi-billionaire, you would have understood already that it's peace and happiness, etc. I'm sure some of them said that also, but it seems most of them answered they wanted more time. So it seems money might be unlimited, but time is somehow limited. And our lifespan also is limited. What I want to tell you today just trying to dodge the cold air. What I want to share with you today is a little revelation that I've had, and I had it a long time ago, actually when I was a monk. That's wonderful. Thank you. So I came to a realization, and it was a long time ago now, so I can't remember how I got to this realization. But I came to understand that numbers do not exist in nature. In reality, there are no numbers. You go out to the jungle, you go to the beach, you go to the sea, you go to the top of the mountain, you can't find numbers anywhere. Doesn't matter where you look, you will never find any numbers. It's only human beings, because animals don't count things, do they? We could teach a horse to, count to 3 or something. I think they can only get to 3, but they can't add or multiply and subtract or divide, etc. So Animals don't count things, I'm sure. Even a cat has, 8 kittens. I don't think the mother's going, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I've got them all. She knows them all. It's even a sense, I would say. The cat knows, without counting, how many kittens she has. And I'm sure she would know if she lost one, without counting. So, animals don't have numbers. Nature, trees, plants, the sun, the moon don't count things. It's only humans. And it's really interesting how we made up this system. I must Google this and find out who was it that made up the number system? Was it the Greeks? I think it might have been the Greeks. Chinese. Of course it was the Chinese. How dare I say that it was the Greeks? Oh. Should I go home now? Should I? Of course it was the Chinese. So, it's really interesting because when you really look at this, there is not 2 of anything in the world. You can't have 2 of anything. You can so there are 2 mats here, we can say. So, as humans, we count, we say 1 mat, 2 mats, and then we say 3 mats, 4 mats, or 10, 20, 50, 100 mats. But there is still only 1 mat. 1 mat. 1 mat. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. There's only 1 mat. And you can only I want to say you can only experience 1 mat, but that probably doesn't fit in very well. So our habit and what we've been taught in this life is to count and to then accumulate. So if I have 2 of something and you only have 1, then you want to have 2 like me. Even you maybe want to steal 1 from me so that you can have 2 and I'll only have 1. Do you see human nature? This is the greediness, the desire. When you look in the Buddha's teachings, this desire, this human desire, and it comes in many, many forms, it is probably one of the most common words that the Buddha used, as in, so we hear the words clinging, attachment, tanha, exactly the word I was thinking, but of course it's a Pali word. Longing, so many words that we have for trying to grasp and to keep, and also in this context to accumulate. And this is a human nature. This is why numbers fit in so well into our greedy mentality. That if I can have 2, I can have 4, I can have 8, I can have 16, I can have 32, I can multiply and I can build up and I can get more and more. And so the more I have, then the greater it looks like I am. So my ego, it also feeds my ego. And then of course, if you see me, I've got so much stuff, whatever it is. Could be gold, could be money, could be possessions, could be houses, condominiums, could be countries. I've got so many, of course, everyone else is jealous. And they would like to have what I have. Even they want a little bit of what I've got because I've got so much. So here, desire, actually greed, hatred and delusion are arising in association with these numbers. If I have a lot of something, then I myself am greedy for it, but then you also will be greedy for it. If I have a lot of something, then you'll be angry with me for having so much. Or if you want my stuff, I'll be angry at you. So then we're going to fight. So here's the dosa. Lopa, dosa, moha. Greed, hatred, delusion. The delusion is then we become confused. Just say your brother, and this often happens, that when the parents die, and then the inheritance goes to the family. Maybe mama loved one boy more than the other boy or something, gave this much to this boy and didn't give this to the other boy. Then they want to fight. Even sometimes they want to kill each other. Even you've heard in history, even princes killing each other to become the king. It sounds logical, right? If there's only two boys and they're both going to become king, okay, I kill my brother, I'm going to become king. It's like, so things like this. Remember, this is based on numbers and based on, and with this also comes accumulation. Actually, you can accumulate stuff without counting it, but you can show somebody else how much stuff you've got. Today, I'm going to stick to money, which is, as you can see, our money all around the world has numbers printed on it. Not only the number of how much the money is, but it also has its serial number. So we calculate and we accumulate. So we've probably all got money in the bank, but actually, do you have money in the bank or do you have numbers? You only have numbers. The bank isn't sitting there with, a big stack of cash, your cash, waiting for you to come back and get it. It's not like they've got cash there, but it's not yours. Actually belongs to the government. Did you know this? That the money that we use is not your personal property? Nobody can own money. All money belongs to the government. It's just given to you temporarily so that you can use it for your transactions to make everybody equal and using the money. But this money doesn't belong to you. In Myanmar some time ago, and actually in many countries, all of a sudden changed the currency. In Myanmar there was a terrible crisis. I can't remember, it might have been 30, 40, 50 years ago. But some strange leader came in and changed the whole numerical system of the money. He even changed it into the numbers on the notes were multiples of 9 because that was his astrology number. So they had 90 chat notes, they had 45 chat notes, really, really dumb stuff. And, but at the same time, he crashed the private economy of people. People had businesses and money and pretty much just wiped it all out and took away their stuff. So this potentially could happen. For example, what happens if all of the electricity in the world stopped today? How are you all going to do anything? And then people are going to get crazy with the lights off, and they're going to go and smash the supermarket windows, they're going to steal all the food because they're going to need to accumulate food, because how do you know when the next food's going to come? This digital currency seems very convenient, very convenient. But what happens if they switch it off? A government can do that. I don't mean to scare you all today, but it might be a good idea to start gardening. It's very good for your health. Maybe the Buddha also recommended to do gardening. Get your hands in the soil, get your feet on the earth, ground yourself, earth yourself, do some gardening, good exercise, good for your chi as well. Because, who knows? All you've got in the bank is numbers. And those numbers even don't really belong to you. And when you see the numbers, they just appear on a screen. What is this screen? Most of our life now, we're looking at some kind of screen as it's almost like our God. It's like we live by these screens. Everywhere you go now, you go to a place, a bank, your number comes up on a screen. The people serve you, they're using a screen. You go through the airport, it's all screens. Your flight number's up on a screen. You're using a screen to look at your phone. You drive your car, you're looking at there's a screen in your car. We're really getting detached from our personal physical body and really from the earth. Meditation brings you back to your reality. Today I very clearly showed you how to just sit and observe the sensation of your breath at your nostrils. Your breath is a reality. It's actually a physical reality. Whether you call it breath or whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. The concepts are not important. But the sensation itself, the reality of the inflow of the breath, the outflow, this is an experience that you cannot deny. You are definitely having this experience every moment. Also, this contact with the earth, it's happening every moment. You can't deny it. This is not a concept. I call it pressure or contact or sitting or whatever, but the experience is real. This is your reality. This is how you ground and connect to reality. If you're grounded and connected to reality, you won't go mad, you won't go crazy, and you can reduce your stress, or even you won't actually have stress if you are connected to your reality. So, time. I'll go on to time. So, ever since the beginning of humanity, I can say, we've experienced, because now we understand the world is turning and day and night are happening. So day and night were always just day and night. But somewhere along the line, somebody, and it might have been the Chinese, I'm sure it was the Chinese, they started to divide the day up into numbers, hours. They said there's a certain period of time of daylight and a certain period of time of darkness. And then they said we can break it up into this many parts. And then they even said we can break it up into this many parts. So it's hours, and then it's minutes, and then they said seconds, and they're all in 60s. I don't know why. Maybe some Chinese emperor a long time ago, perhaps his astrology was number 6 and he said we will have 60 seconds and then 60 minutes to make up the hours, and then 24 is also divisible by 6, 24 hours. So, but what's the reality? You can't experience numbers in time. You can experience a duration of time. And it's very interesting when we meditate. We go beyond time because time is a concept. Time is not a reality. You can't feel time. You can experience a duration of something, like you could have a pain for 5 minutes or 5 hours. We give it numbers, but you experience the pain for a duration. But now we put numbers to that duration. But in the past, nobody spoke in the sense of numbers. It was just, actually, I don't know how they expressed themselves. How do you say, oh, you might say, oh, I've had this pain all morning, or I've had this pain since sunrise, or something like that. The thing is that you can't experience numbers in time, and you, of course, you can't also experience money. You can hold something in your hand, like a piece of money, but if you close your eyes, what do you experience? You experience some roughness, smoothness, some texture. You can feel something moving. Maybe you can hear it. There's a sensation there. Maybe it's got a temperature. Actually, a banknote is made up of 4 elements, the characteristics of 4 elements. You can experience a banknote, but the numbers you can't experience. Unless there are 5 of them, and it makes up 5, let's say 5 ringgit, but actually that's one sensation, that's another sensation, that's another sensation, another and another. Are these 5? No, this is 1. I can feel 1, that's all. And I can feel another 1. But without calculating and counting and accumulating, it's just 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. There's another interesting fact here, that computers, some of you will be very more aware of this than myself, computers run on what's called a binary code. Binary code means ones and zeros. So the whole system runs on ones and zeros. How that works, I have no idea. I'm completely beyond me. However, 0 is actually technically not a number. 0 is the absence of 1. If there's 1 and you take it away, we call it 0. We say nothing, nil, naught, blank, zip, not. But when there's 1, there's 1. Then we say there's 0. So in this, how they did it, again, I don't know. They used this so-called binary code of 1s and 0s, and they created actually the computer world, the internet. Very interesting. But still, you can see there's only 1 number that can exist. Even 0 cannot exist. 2, I'm holding 2 fingers, but in reality, it's 1 and 1. 5 fingers, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. You go into a forest, you say there's 100 trees. You can say that, and we do. But in reality, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. There's only 1. 1 is the only number that exists. It's very interesting. So, through this, we have developed what we call time. And then we have, and we say we only have 24 hours in a day. Imagine if the day did not have numbers. How much time would you have? If the 24 hours did not exist in numbers, like go back to ancient times, how much time would you have? Unlimited, isn't it? It's interesting, isn't it? Because then you're not calculating, you're not thinking, oh, I've only got 2 hours left in this day, I have to do X, Y, Z before I get to midnight, and then I'll start a new day. And then I'll have only 24 hours to do. Do you see how confusing it is? It's weird. But we all grew up in this world. The day you were born, The time you were born, the hour, the minute you were born, you were given this, even that time. You were born at 8:27 on Sunday morning, blah, blah, blah. And these also have numbers. The month has a number, the year has a number, the date has a number. You know, these dates also don't exist in reality.
So there's no meaning to celebrate birthday?
No. What? You come to your experience. And this is what the Buddha was teaching us. He was definitely teaching us to escape from the world of concepts and come to the experience of reality. And when you come to the experience of reality, there's no time. When you meditate, as we did this morning, and we felt the sensation of the in-breath and the sensation of the out-breath, there is no time there. You could count and say, oh, the in-breath was, 1.5 seconds. The out-breath was 1.75 seconds. For what? Why we need to know this? The in-breath is one experience, a flowing, changing experience. It's a duration of time, but not necessarily with numbers. And then when the in-breath fades away or stops, then the out-breath begins. When you feel this flow of the in-breath and the out-breath, there's no need for numbers. There's no need for time. In fact, we drop into, and as I also mentioned, when you focus on stillness, not the physical body, but just the stillness, if you like, the concept of stillness or the experience or essence of stillness. And there's nothing on the screen of your mind, no pictures, no images, no stories. The mind's not thinking. In the absence of thinking, the mind becomes silent. You drop into a space, and that space does not have numbers. There's no calculation there. There's no beginning or end. It's actually limitless. And it's very pure, and it's very natural, and it's always present, always available. The stillness, the silence, the screen or the absence of the screen, and the space are always available. And this drops us into a pure simplicity. Simplicity is the opposite of this. This is complexity. Look how complicated our lives are because of these two mainly. Because of numbers, we've created money and time. And they equal stress. Stress is dukkha. This is suffering. And it's all unnecessary. I believe even at the time of the Buddha, they had time, I guess. I'm not sure. I know that when they quote, they would say, spontaneously 5,000 bhikkhus arrived for a Dhamma talk, for a sermon, without having been called. I think they were the enlightened ones. I don't remember the exact number, whether it was 1,000 or 5,000. But even those numbers, they say, were just general, just a number. A lot of bhikkhus turned up. So that's an interesting point. I'll have to ask a Buddhist scholar if in the time of the Buddha they were using seconds, minutes, hours, etc. Yeah, I'm sure time glasses might have been invented at that time. So this is food for thought, and it will help you to bring yourself back to your reality. come back to your own personal experience. Instead of having your head in numbers, in figures, you yourself know. If you sit at a computer all day, or you're crunching numbers all day, you know how your head feels at the end of the day. It's very scattered and can be very confusing, in fact. But when you go and sit in the park, walk in the park, breathe the air, hear the birds, see the trees, perhaps look at some ponds. There are lots of ponds around here. Beautiful nature. The mind calms down, your senses calm down. You feel more real. And especially, kick your shoes off, put your feet on the earth. Feel the grass, feel the earth itself. And this is called grounding and earthing. And this gets you out of your head and into the earth, into your body, and into your the natural rhythms and the natural flow of life. But even if you don't do that, your breath can also do it. Your breath is a natural rhythm. As I said, your breath breathes by itself, which is an interesting fact, that your breath is operating by itself. You don't think, oh, I must breathe in or I must breathe out. Imagine if you had to operate your breath while you're living life. I don't think you would live very long. You get sidetracked and then you went, oh, I forgot to breathe. Oh, I need to breathe. So the breathing is happening by itself, just like the heartbeat is happening by itself. Very perfect systems. Your food is digesting by itself. Your temperature control system is operating by itself. Your immune system is operating by itself. All your systems of your body are operating by themselves, and we can say, according to universal law, natural laws. In fact, that's the name the Buddha gave to his teaching, was Dhamma. Dhamma is natural law, universal law. And the Buddha was teaching nature. The Buddha was teaching reality. So when we come back to nature, we come back to our own reality, we get out of our head, we get out of our concepts, and I often use the word matrix. If you ever saw the movie The Matrix, The Matrix was a computer-generated world. It was a movie that came out back in the 90s, but it actually describes Buddhism very well. It's a computer-generated world, and people are connected into this computer-generated world. Meanwhile, they're not doing anything, but they think they are living a life. And so their life is connected to a computer system. Meanwhile, their body is just like a battery. The machines were just using the human body as electricity. Meanwhile, they were running this computer system, the matrix, but the matrix wasn't real. What they did was they rescued someone from the matrix, showed them how to live a real life, how to be a real human being, how to break the rules of the matrix, which means break the rules of your mind, because your mind makes up rules that are actually BS, if you know what that abbreviation is. It's not real. So you're living in your thoughts, you're living in your own ideas, you're living in your concepts, and you get caught up in all of your stories. She said that, and he did that, and they can't do that, and this is right and that's wrong, and we need to fight. I have to stop this, and fighting, creating chaos, complications, and suffering in your own mind. Meanwhile, what's happening? Oh, my feet are on the floor. My breath is breathing. I'm sitting in this place. Where's the stress? Where's the drama? Where are the problems? Where's the bank? Where's the money? Where's the time? Where's the clock? Where are all the people that I'm arguing with in my mind? Where's the past? Where's the future? They actually don't exist. You have a reality in your body and mind in the present moment. And this is your truth. When you come back to your truth, you're stepping out of your stress. You're stepping out of your suffering. We can all be free from suffering a little bit at a time, as Bhante Agachita called it, gradual awakening or something like that. It's a gradual path. The more we practice, the more we step out of the world of confusion, the matrix, the world of concepts, we step more into the reality of our body and mind. The truth that we can actually experience, where numbers don't exist, where time as we know it by numbers doesn't exist, money don't exist, and we can live a more calm, peaceful life. However, we live in a world of time and money. You must see them as concepts and not take them too seriously. If you lost all your money today, you've still got your body and mind. You can go to the gardens. There will be ways that you can eat and do what your body needs to do. You can survive. So don't be caught up in your money and don't create more suffering in the world about money and even time. So start to see any stress that you're getting from time and money. Notice that it is stress. Notice that it's based on concepts. Notice this is dukkha that you are creating in your own mind. Nobody else knows how much money you've got, how much time you've got, etc., etc. You are creating this suffering by yourself. Take a step back, maybe sit down, feel your feet on the ground, breathe in, breathe out, and all of that will disappear. And then, when it's disappeared, take a little break, meditate, and now look back at it again. And you might see clearly, money is numbers, time is numbers. Am I fighting and arguing and stressing with other people and other things just because of these concepts? Can I live here and now? When I breathe in, when I breathe out, when I walk, when I eat food, when I drink my te tarik, can I be present? Can I live in this moment? So this is how I understand the Buddha's teaching of meditation, to keep us grounded in the present moment, to keep us connected to reality, so that we are not stressed, so that we can gradually awaken and attain enlightenment. So, thank you very much for listening to me this morning. I appreciate your ears and your listening power, your consciousness of hearing. I think we are finishing at 11:30, isn't it? Yeah? It's now 11:30, according to the numbers on the clock. So I don't mind whether we finish, or if anybody would like to, feel free to. Or if you'd like to argue or start a fight,